The SARS Commissioner Edward Kieswetter says the VAT court ruling now makes way for a clear process as the order allows SARS to administer VAT efficiently while protecting taxpayers. Kieswetter says he's called for an open process to the budget with all possibilities and considerations in mind.
Well, everything has to be back on the cards now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to preempt where the minister will conclude. But I know, having spoken to the minister, that we have to have an absolute open mind and consider all possibilities. Ultimately, it is about the choice that the minister made of fiscal consolidation.
The National Treasury has been criticized in its implementation of the budget with Section 74 of the VAT Act, which makes it possible for the Finance Minister to action the proposed tax increases in the budget speech before Parliament votes on it. Political economist Peter Attard-Moltalto says there are hard lessons for the National Treasury and Parliament, also cautioning of a massive growth hole in revenue that still remains.
But the big thing now hanging over this budget actually isn't the VAT hike. The net impact of removing the VAT, also removing the zero rating, is about 11.5 billion rand. There's a much, much larger problem that's now emerged, which is that growth forecasts have to be downgraded because of slower global growth, because of the impact of the Trump tariffs on global growth and into South African growth as well. We've slashed our forecast in line, but we did before the IMF, in line with the IMF, down from 1.9 to 1.1%. Treasury in February was still sitting at 1.9%. And that for us creates a 25 billion rand hole that has to be filled.
Economist Mialani Mkabela says the consumer becomes the biggest loser in the VAT dispute. He shares how much the 0.5 percentage point would have cost the consumer if it was passed on the 1st of May 2025.
Employees or workers earning 10,000 at 5% additional, 0.5% additional VAT, it could be 50 rand. For 20,000 employees, it gets to be 100 rand, and for 30,000 employees, it has to be around 150, and for 40,000, it is getting into around 200. For 50,000, it is around 250, and then for 60,000, it's around 300, and for 100,000, it is around 500 in rand.
Rating agencies say they too are closely monitoring developments in South Africa and the economy. Chief Rating Officer at Sovereign Africa Ratings, Zwelibanzi Mazia, believes the DA and EFF's challenge underscores the critical issue of balance of power between the executive and legislative branches in the fiscal decision-making.
While the Finance Minister's team argues that the provision is constitutional, the challenge raises valid concerns about ensuring a robust legislative oversight. So for us as a credit rating agency, we will be closely monitoring the outcome, because it could influence perceptions of institutional checks and balances.
Consumers have been urged to be vigilant at the point of sale from the 1st of May 2025 and insist on a refund if the slip reflects a 15.5% tax, with expectations being of the tabling of a third 2025 budget. Katlagol Rodi, SABC News in Johannesburg.